What's
Yo,
up, my
yo,
guy?
what's good,
Ah,
man?
oh, nothing much, man. Just recovering from this playoff weekend that we're about to jump into here.
Oh
It's-
man, what a super wild card weekend that was.
Whew.
Lot of good stuff. A lot of bad stuff, depending on who you're a fan of, bro, to be honest.
Yep,
So
yep.
let's hop right into it, man. Welcome to the House Divided. My name is Corey Hilliard. Man next to me is Brandon Hill, aka B Hill. If you've been here before, you know what to do. If it's your first time, mi casa, su casa. B Hill, get him.
You guys know what time it is around here. If you're not already, guys, we have noticed the channel is starting to grow slowly but surely. We're at 55 subscribers. If you guys could help us get to 100 subscribers, tell your friends, tell your family about us. We'd love for everybody to become a part of the House Divided family. How do you do that? You hop down there, you hit that subscribe button. You go ahead and tap that notification bell so you guys can be up to date on all our newest and latest content. Also, if you like what you see, you like what you're hearing, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for that like. That helps with the YouTube algorithm. We can get out there on that platform where more people are going to be able to view our content. And last but not least, guys, we want to hear from y'all. Hop down there in those comment boxes. We don't care. Good, bad, right, wrong, indifferent. Y'all already know the drill around here at the House Divided. So, as we were alluding to, we'll go ahead. I'm just going to drop these in order of when they were played, Corey. So this first
Yeah.
game that we're going to get into, it's not really going to take too long for us to talk about it. We had the 49ers and the Seahawks. This game, in my honest opinion, went pretty much like I thought it was going to go. I thought that the 49ers were going to pretty much control the Seahawks. I didn't think that there was going to be much issue. Brock Purdy, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Corey, Brock Purdy's sitting here growing up right in front of our eyes. I mean,
He's on, bro. Is he? I think he's gonna be the starting quarterback next year. I mean, that's a different take for a different show, but I don't see why you wouldn't play this guy next year, bro. 5 touchdowns, is that what he had? Would he throw 5 tutties?
No, he threw 3 touchdowns. He was 18
3
for 30,
touchdowns.
332 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no picks.
Okay.
Then you had
Strong.
Christian McCaffrey on the ground, 15 carries, 119 yards. When you can only have 15 carries and get 119 yards, it's absolutely ridiculous. You had
Bro.
Debo Samuel looked like Debo. 6 receptions, 133 yards, 1 touchdown, and his longest one was for 74 yards.
Yeah.
That dude, they're a problem. They got Ayuk, they got Samuel, they got Kittle. I mean, dude.
Bosa on the
And
other
then
side. They got the
Nick
best
Bosa.
defensive end in the game. They got the best middle linebacker in the game in Warner.
They got the
The
best
only
left
really
tackle.
weakness is best left tackle in Trent Williams. The only weakness I would say is their secondary, maybe. But giving up touchdowns to DK that's not a bad thing.
That's
You know what I
not
mean?
too
And
bad.
it was, what was it, 17-16 at halftime? So Seattle showed up for the first half.
They
I
did.
just think the talent, they just got out talented in that second half, man. There's really nothing they can do in that second half.
Yeah, they got outscored 25-6 in the second half. I mean, good night, Irene. That was just Shanahan going into the locker room saying, "Come on, guys, we know this team. We know what they're about. We played them twice in the regular season. Let's go out here. Let's handle our business." And that defense only giving up 6 points in the second half in a playoff game. That's big. That's big time. Because, I mean, but on the other side of the token, though, if I'm a Seattle Seahawks fan, I'm not upset with this loss. I'm not upset because coming into this season, nobody expected them to even make the playoffs.
What?
You know what I'm saying? So,
What?
for them to actually be considered in the playoffs, while Russell Wilson over there in Denver didn't even sniff the playoffs. I mean, and you guys got their first round draft pick. You know what I'm saying? They've got pieces that they're going to be able to build for the future. And I think Geno Smith proved enough this season that he can be that quarterback for you moving forward. What's your take on that?
No, man, I 100% agree. I love with Geno, his whole story. They wrote me off. I didn't write back. 8 years in the league, and then finally, he's just an awesome story, man. And like you said, nobody was predicting this. I'd like to meet the person that predicted the Seahawks was going to make the playoffs before the season started. I'd like to meet that dude. I don't think that person exists, to be honest. And the beautiful thing about that whole situation, them making the playoffs, and why you said they shouldn't be disappointed in losing to San Fran, bro, they snuck into the playoffs. Like if the Packers win that game, they're not even in the playoffs. So for them to even be in this position, right, have a wild card game against a divisional opponent, that was a blessing in itself. So
it was big. It was big.
Yeah.
And I mean the pieces that they have. I mean you got DK Metcalf, you got Tyler Lockett. Kenneth Walker III is only going to continue to get better as he goes on. I mean, this was the dude's first season. He's a rookie. You know what I'm saying? He's a talented runner. I mean, arguably going to be a top 10 back going into next season. Some people might push back on me on that. That's perfectly fine if you want to. My honest opinion, I got him as a top 10 running back going into next season. So they've definitely got the pieces. They got some young pieces on defense as well. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying that they're going to win a Super Bowl next year or anything, but I would expect an improvement over a 9-8 season that they had this year next year.
Yeah, I mean, they got to work on that O-line and get a better defense, and they'll be good to go, man.
Absolutely, and they got some draft picks to do it thanks to Russell Wilson. Just saying. Just saying. So they can get some more pieces because they got a draft pick to do it with. So. Anything else you want to touch on this game before we hop into this next one?
No.
All right, man. Congratulations to the 49ers. On to the next round. This next game I wanted to talk about, this one was probably my favorite game to watch in the whole entire weekend. You had the LA Chargers at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
I picked the Chargers in this one. You picked the Jaguars correctly. In that first half, though, man, I mean, Trevor Lawrence, what'd he throw? Was it 3 interceptions in that first half? He had 4. He had 4, okay. And then what does he do in the second half? Completely flips the script and comes touchdowns. Just, my gosh. Travis Etienne Jr., Evan Ingram, I got a buddy that's calling him a top 5 tight end in the NFL. I said, I don't know about that one, but you can.
He's teetering.
This was really, if you can think of it, it's been his first healthy season because he can never stay healthy over there in New York.
Yeah.
So he actually did stay healthy this year. You got Christian Kirk and Zay Jones. That dude, Zay Jones, he's a problem. He's a problem.
They got to pay him.
Man.
Did they pay him already?
I don't know. I
think they did.
Hey, if they didn't, they need to. You need to keep that core together. I like what they got going on. You got Doug Peterson as the head coach, which I think, in my ultimate opinion, just looking at this game from an outside perspective, Doug Peterson outcoached the coach for the Chargers, Staley, I believe is the guy's last name.
Brandon Staley, yeah.
Brandon Staley. He outcoached him. He made, in that second half, I think the Chargers being up 27-7 at halftime, which don't get it misunderstood. That touchdown that the Jaguars scored right before halftime, that was huge.
Crucial.
Was big. They needed that. And their defense only gave up 3 points in that second half. I mean,
it was a stellar performance, man. To look that bad, and it was all Trevor Lawrence's fault. With the interceptions. Then they had the muff punt when the ball hits the dude in the head. And then at that point, you're thinking, man, this is not the Jags night. This is a bad way to go out. And what was impressive about what happened in the second half, they scored a touchdown on every single drive. From that last drive in the first half, every possession they scored. And it was methodical drives. They were like a 7-minute drive, a 5-minute drive. Like they were eating up clock. And they really took the Chargers' offense, kept them on the sideline, and took away all of their rhythm. Right? And as you start to score touchdowns, the pressure starts to really mount on the Chargers because you can feel it. You can feel a comeback happening, even when it's 30-14. Right? They got that field goal, and then you think, oh, you got a little room. No. 30-20. They just kept coming, bro.
They didn't let off the gas. That's credits to, of course, credit to the players. But Doug Peterson, man, the dude's won a Super Bowl. He won the first ever Super Bowl in Philadelphia. This guy knows what it takes to win football games in the playoffs. He knows what it takes whenever his team is doubted. Because remember that season when he won with the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick
Nick
Foles
Foles.
was the starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Nobody thought that the
No.
Eagles had a chance. And
Nope.
what they do, they went on to win the Super Bowl, and they went on to win the Super Bowl against Tom Brady, who we would argue is the greatest quarterback of all time. We'll get to his game here in just a little bit. But one of my last notes that I wanted to push on this one, a couple of things. Austin Eckler, where were you at? 13
they only gave
carries.
him the ball.
I get it. I mean, where was it at? You know what I'm saying? If I'm that head coach, 27-7, I'm running the ball in that second half. I'm trying to keep Trevor Lawrence and that offense on the sideline over there. And the other thing is, Justin Herbert, man, I mean, he got all that hype as a rookie coming into his sophomore season. Everybody's calling him the next big thing, right? He hadn't shown it to me, man. This was, in my opinion, this was a disappointing season for Justin Herbert overall. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong on that, Corey. I mean, he did deal with the rib injury earlier in the season, so he was kind of fighting through that. I'm not questioning the guy's toughness, but to just automatically put him up in that top 5 upper echelon of quarter, we can't do that. He's not in my top 5. He's barely in my top 10. Barely. That's just where I'm at on this. That's my
My thing with Herbert is, bro, because this is his 3rd year, I think, and he has the most pass. Yeah, he's got the most passing yards and most passing touchdowns of any quarterback in the first 3 years of their career. Now, with that being said, he hadn't done anything in the postseason. This is his first year making the playoffs. So a lot of people want to anoint and crown this dude as the next big thing. But I'm with you, man. You got to show me something first. You got to win a playoff game.
Got to.
Let's start with just winning a playoff game. Let's start there before we start crowning you the next thing, the best thing since sliced bread. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So I'm 100% on board with that. I got him in my top 10. I probably have him around 8 or 9 if I had to really sit down and rank it. But win a playoff game before we start calling people, the GOATs or whatever.
Right. Absolutely. And I think if I'm the Chargers this offseason, man, they got to look for a receiver in the draft. Receiver's got to be number 1 priority. Keenan Allen is nice, but he only gives you 4 to 5 games a year. I mean, I might be over-exaggerating there, but he's always hurt. Every season, he's always hurt. You need to get somebody to pair up with Mike Williams. And I like Joshua Palmer. I just don't think he got enough targets in this game. I don't think he got to touch the ball enough. I mean, when Gerald Everett is your leading receiver, and no disrespect to Gerald Everett, but when you got Keenan Allen, Palmer, and I don't believe Mike Williams played in this game, so that was a big loss for them as well, not having Mike Williams. But I got to see more out of Keenan Allen. You're my number 1 guy. Go out there and show me that. You know what I'm saying? Demand that football from Justin Herbert. And I didn't see that. They looked laxed in that second half. I mean, Bosa, the other Joey Bosa, he was some stupid personal foul. I don't know what he said to that ref to get that 15-yard penalty. But I'm assuming it wasn't very nice. I can tell you that right now. So I don't know what it was, but you got to keep those in check.
Keep it cool.
In the playoffs.
They self-imploded. The biggest thing was Brendan. What's the coach name?
Staley.
The Chargers coach Brendan Staley. Dude, he played Mike Williams in a Week 18 game, in a meaningless football game. That's how Mike Williams didn't get to play in the playoff game. Because the dude fractured his back. He fractured a part of his back in a meaningless game, the last game of the year. Why are you playing your starters if you're not going to move up or down?
Unacceptable.
Right?
It's unacceptable.
It's stupid. And that's 100% on him. Mike Williams would have definitely helped out in that game. You don't think he would have been a factor in that game?
Absolutely it would have been.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's on Brendan Staley. That's on him big time.
I mean, is the Chargers coach kind of on the hot seat? I mean,
people have been calling for it. Like, I mean, honestly, would you take Sean Payton or would you take Brendan Staley?
Sean Payton with Justin Herbert.
Yeah. So I think if the right coach comes along, they make that call. But we'll see. I think he'll be back next year.
I think Sean Payton ends up in Denver. If you ask my personal opinion, I think they're going to throw the book at him. They're going to throw it all. What do you want? How do you want to do this? Everything else.
They're going to have to give up a first-round pick for it because the Saints still have his rights.
Right. If I'm Sean Payton, though, man, I'm going with the Chargers over the Broncos. There's more there to work with than what you have.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the Chargers, they got a good offensive line. They have good defensive pieces. They're going to go after a receiver in the draft. Mark my words. Mark my words. They're going to go get another big-time receiver in the draft. And there is plenty of them coming out this year.
I was going to say, yeah, that's an abundance of those.
There is going to be a playmaker in the draft. So, anything else on this game?
No.
Hey, congratulations to the Jaguars, man. Trevor Lawrence. I've been one of those guys that's absolutely hated on Trevor Lawrence. I thought, oh, you got picked by the Jaguars. You ain't going to do nothing with them. In his second season, he was the number 1 overall pick. So for folks at home that don't know what that means, it means they weren't very good if they got the number 1 pick. And just a year later, you got them in the playoffs in the divisional round. Kudos to that man. Kudos to the Jaguars. And that was absolutely big. So this next game, this one was kind of a shocker that it was as close as it was. The Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills.
Ooh.
You had Skylar Thompson, who, I mean, my gosh, I didn't get to watch this whole game in full. I actually went out to eat with my family before my Vikings game. Josh Allen, he's still throwing picks out there, man. I mean, they still don't have a run game to speak of outside of Josh Allen, which Josh Allen didn't do much in the run game in this game. I mean, they had 107 yards as a team. But their top rusher was Devin Singletary for 48 yards. So it's like, I'm looking at these things now. Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis both had a good game. They each went over 100 yards. On the other side, they held Tyreek Hill in check and they held Jalen Waddle in check. So that was big and that was key. It was a defensive turnover, or it was a defense for the Dolphins creating turnovers at the times that they did to kind of get the Dolphins back into this game. I mean, at one point, the Dolphins took a 17-14 lead or 20-17. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I was like, holy crap. They actually came back on these guys.
Yeah, they were up 24-20 at one point, bro.
So it was
deep into the third quarter.
I mean,
so it was looking sketchy, bro. It was looking real sketchy.
And at Buffalo, I mean, honestly, with Skylar Thompson starting this football game, and no disrespect to Skylar Thompson, he's a serviceable quarterback. I remember him from Big 12 days with the Kansas State Wildcats. But come on, man. And then you held them to 42 yards rushing and only 220 receiving yards. The Buffalo Bills should have blown this team out. It shouldn't even have been
turnovers.
Close.
The turnovers, man. Turnovers are a great equalizer. We talk about that all the time. The biggest thing, the Dolphins really should be kicking themselves. Jalen Waddle dropped 3 balls. Tyreek Hill dropped the ball. I think they had like 5 total drops. So Skylar, I mean, his stat line could have been better. Now he was like 18 or 40 something, which is not good. Right. Without the 5 drops, he'd have been like 23 or 40 something. So it's like you said, a rookie quarterback. The turnovers absolutely kept them in the game. Josh Allen had the 1 fumble that went for a touchdown. They scooped and scored on that one. The 2 picks. Beasley had the fumble right before the half. They gave him more points. It was just like, bro, they were gifting them left and right. To have that many turnovers and still win by, I think they won by 3 points.
Should have been more turnovers too. Josh Allen actually fumbled the ball 3 times and only lost that one.
It was one of them, I
mean, my gosh, and
you can't do that next week against their next opponent, Cincinnati.
Not against the Bengals. No.
Yeah, that'll get you killed.
Because Joe Burrow's going to do better than 18 for 45 and 1 touchdown, 220 yards.
Yeah,
guarantee you that.
A bunch of those turnovers only turn into 3 points, like 3 points here, 3 points here, and that's I mean. You turn the ball over to Bengals, those are going for tutties, buddy. You're not getting – they're not going to end in field goals.
And Joe Burrow. Are they playing this game in Buffalo, or how did they break that down?
It's in Buffalo.
Okay.
It's in Buffalo.
Joe Burrow would love nothing more than to go up in there into Buffalo and pull up out of there. I don't think he's going to smoke a cigar because I don't think he's smoking a cigar unless he wins the championship.
Right.
But that man, I mean, early pick, just an early preview into the next show whenever we talk about these, I'm picking the Bengals over the Bills all day just because of this performance that they had against the Dolphins. And you know Josh Allen is good for at least 1 to 2 turnovers per game. He's done it all season long. The dude gives the ball to the other team. He just does it. Yeah. I mean, he's an absolute freak of an athlete. He's a big quarterback. You're scared of his legs, everything else. But, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't want to hate on Josh Allen.
I was going to say his gift is also his curse because he's so phenomenally talented, bro. Yeah. He's so good at what he does that he tries to do it all the time, and he thinks he can get away with it. You're not going to be able to get away with it every time. You know what I mean? You're not going to make it the fantastic bullet throw every single time.
Right.
So his greatest gift is his greatest curse, too.
His accuracy is still not up to par with like a Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow type of quarterback. I'm not putting him in that cat. I've literally, as of right now, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow close, right there. And I got Josh Allen. He's a notch below them, man. In my opinion. That's my opinion.
Right, yeah. No, that's a fair assessment. That's fair. That's definitely fair.
That's how I look at it. So, Buffalo Bills, you're on to the next round. You're still going to have a home playoff game. They got to come travel there to Buffalo, so that's going to be big for them because that home field advantage that they have there is real.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's going to phase Joe Burrow. But, hey, we'll see. I could be wrong. Anything else on this game before we move on to this next one?
Nope.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if we just skipped over this game, honestly. If we just didn't have to talk about it, like, at all. Like, this. The New York Giants at my Minnesota Vikings.
We both got this one wrong.
Oh, man.
I had the Vikings winning by like 10, bro. So.
This one hurt my soul. It really did. It was, we come out in that first drive. They're getting Justin Jefferson. I think he had 3 or 4 catches in just that first drive alone.
That's exactly what we said they should do. They fed them early.
And I was thinking, oh my gosh. And what do you know? It turned into a touchdown. I don't necessarily, as a fan, I don't blame this game on Kirk Cousins. There's a lot of people that are going to say that 4th and 8. Yes, you can look at that one play. He was under pressure. They had bracket coverage on everybody else up top because they were dropping back. He was about to get sacked. He just wanted to put the ball in play. Was it the best play? Probably not. If it were me and I'm Kirk Cousins, I'm throwing it up to 18 and saying our season's on the line. I'm going to try to get it in my best playmaker's hands. Double team, triple team or not, I don't care. 18 is going to touch the ball on this 4th and 8.
Right.
But the play before that, though, was the big one to me. On that 3rd and 8, he threw the ball. It hit KJ Osborne right in the numbers.
Oh,
and he drops the ball.
Yeah.
I'm like, as soon as that happened, I mean, I was like, I think we can get this 4th and 8, but my confidence level definitely dropped. So, I mean, TJ Hawkinson, he had a heck of a game, man. He just couldn't make that last play to be able to get that first down. Is what it is. You'll live with that. But on the other side of the ball, that's where we lost the game. Our defense could not stop a nosebleed. Daniel Jones looked like the second coming of freaking Peyton Manning out there, dude. I mean, they didn't throw the ball like that all season long. And to be honest with you, Corey, we shouldn't even have had an opportunity for that last drive because Darius Slayton dropped that ball. If he didn't drop that ball on that, it was like he was gone. Yeah. He might have scored a touchdown.
Yeah, it was the game would have been over for sure.
Wide open. So, as a Vikings fan, I want to see Ed Donatel gone. It's time for him to go. That shell defense did not work. Also, when you're kind of looking at contracts, there's things that we call cap casualties. There's going to be, on that defensive side of the ball, there is going to be a complete overhaul. I see Harrison Smith, Patrick Peterson, Zadarius Smith, and Eric Kendricks all in other uniforms next season.
Whoa.
All of them.
Time out.
If you look at their cap hits, Corey, and you look at the Vikings cap situation, they're not coming back. And if you look at it this way, look at it from this, they are aging veterans. They are aging veterans. I think that my Vikings team did not have enough speed on defense, man. I mean, they've been getting roasted all season long. That's and true. I'm not paying Zadarius Smith $18 million. I'm not paying Harrison Smith north of $20 million, and I'm not paying Eric Kendricks $19 million. I'm just not doing it. And Patrick Peterson was on a 1-year deal. Also, another guy on the offensive side, 2 guys, Adam Thielen and Dalvin Cook. Unless these guys take major restructures, which is possible, I'm not saying it's not, they're gone, man. They're going to get cut. We're going to save against the cap. They're going to retool this. Because you got to think, we had a new head coach this year, and we had a new GM in Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. This was basically run it back. Let's see if it was just Mike Zimmer, or let's see if it was the players. And 13-4, you might say you guys had a great year. Yes, we did. But 11 one-score games, and when it mattered the most, Corey, we couldn't get the job done.
Yeah.
And I'm being honest with myself here. We wasn't winning the next game against the 49ers anyways. I think we saved ourselves a butt whooping, to be completely honest with you. So, what's your takeaway?
Man, that was a lot to chew on, bro. You're definitely plugged into that team way more than I am. Let me ask you this. Well, just the game aside, what happened? The defense lost the game. Let's just be honest.
100%.
You made Daniel Jones look like a superstar. His 2 best passing performances of the years against the Vikings defense in the regular season in this game. So that's where you guys lost. I definitely agree. You got to get younger on defense for next year. Is there any way you can restructure Harrison and Zadarius? Like restructure the contract, or just give them more upfront?
Out of the players that I listed, I think those are the 2 guys that have the most potential of coming back. Those are the 2 guys. I think everybody else I listed. I think everybody else I listed, because look at it this way: we got Alexander Madison in the backfield. You can pay him significant. You can offer him a $9 to $10 million contract, and he's back in purple. I'm not upset if Alexander let him walk, man. Dalvin's got a $21 million cap hit. You're not paying a running back $21 million for. And I'm sorry, Dalvin. I love Dalvin Cook. It's gonna hurt me just as much as anybody to see him somewhere else. But he's lost a step, man. He hasn't.
Yeah. He's gotten a little older.
It's just not looked the same. It's just not. I mean, in my opinion, Alexander Madison has a little bit more burst to him, a lot more pop to him than Dalvin Cook does. Now, granted,
kind of like a Zeke Tony Pollard situation is what you're saying.
Just not quite to that level. Tony Pollard is better than both of our running backs, in my opinion, right now.
Okay.
I'm taking a Tony Pollard over a Dalvin Cook or an Alexander Madison as a Vikings fan, and that kills me to say because I don't like the Cowboys at all. But Tony Pollard is just a dude. He's just one of those dudes.
I think all the teams would take Tony Pollard right now. That dude's a baller.
He's a baller. He's an absolute baller. So Justin Jefferson's eligible for an extension. So I think that's another reason. I mean, Adam Thielen, unless he takes a major, major pay cut, like that
He's
dude.
gone. Yeah.
And that's another one, man. I mean, I love these guys. They're my Vikings, everything else, but it's part of the NFL. This is a business at the end of the day. and they're going to have to make business moves. And that's not to say if those guys leave, we don't get other guys. I mean, I see the Vikings drafting a receiver in the first round this year to be able to make up for that loss. Jordan Addison from USC would look pretty good in purple next to Justin Jefferson.
That would be spicy.
Just saying.
Ooh.
Just saying. So,
Biletnikoff winner, yeah.
And I mean, running backs are a dime a dozen, so I'm not worried about losing to Dalvin Cook. Danielle Hunter's another guy that I could see as possibly like a trade, unless we get a new defensive coordinator to where we're not running that 3-4 scheme, because I think that really hurt him this year. He's not a stand-up.
He's not a 3-4. He's not a 3-4 DN.
He's just not. He's a hand in the dirt and rush the passer. They had him dropping back in coverage in this game, man, and I'm thinking, when I seen that, I'm like, what in the world are we doing? I mean,
some people overthink it, bro. Some coaches overthink the situation way too much. You're not paying Danielle Hunter to drop back in coverage. Because he ain't going to do nothing. If the ball can hit him in the face, he probably wouldn't catch it. Let that man go get the quarterback. I don't understand why you would ever drop Danielle Hunter in the coverage. I don't get it.
Would you buy a Ferrari to tow a boat?
No.
Well, that's what the hell we were doing with Danielle Hunter dropping back in coverage. It's unacceptable. You can't do that. You don't do that. The dude is the top end. He's a very good pass rusher. And he was coming on later on in the season. I think he had a sack in this game as well. So I love Danielle Hunter. I don't want to lose Danielle Hunter. But, man, if Donatell is the freaking defensive coordinator next season,
he won't be.
I don't think he will be either, because it's clear as day that was the issue with this football team.
Yep.
So, I don't know. We'll see. Shout out to the Giants, though, man. They came to play. They were ready.
Saquon showed up, yeah.
Saquon looked he looked good. He looked really
Daniel
good.
Jones can run, man. I like the QB runs they did with him, the sweeps, the counters and stuff like that. A bunch of stuff that Josh Allen used to do when Daboll was his offensive coordinator over there at the Bills. So you can see how that's working for Daniel Jones. Dude, for his size, he's an athlete. I give him that.
No, hey man, and coming out of Duke, he was a Duke quarterback. Duke. We talk about basketball when we talk about Duke. I can't remember a freaking quarterback that came out of Duke and did any damn thing. And this man, hey, shout out to Brian Daboll too, because without Brian Daboll, Daniel Jones was lost before Brian Daboll came, and he's completely come in there. And that's the guy that doesn't get enough credit. I think media's alluded to it or whatever, but he doesn't get enough credit for what he did with Josh Allen. He just really doesn't. Josh Allen.
I think people are starting to figure it out now.
Yep, absolutely. Because Josh Allen, where he was an MVP candidate coming into this season. He really was. And I think as far as like Josh Allen standards, he's underperformed this season. Now, granted, I say all this, and they're in the second round of the playoffs, yes. But if you're a Bills fan, I think you can rightfully say Josh Allen didn't play up to expectations so far. Now, we'll see. Still got some time to prove otherwise, but let's just be real. Yeah. I don't see that happening. So, Daniel Jones. All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, man. Look, I expected big things out of Josh Allen, but like you said, him not having Daboll anymore, it was big. So yeah.
And it's been proven, and it'll get proven whenever they play a better team than the Miami Dolphins with the third string quarterback too. So, moving on. Glad we got that one out the way. That'll be the last Vikings talk until next season starts. So yeah, that's it. So, this next one that I wanted to bring up, this game right here, it was probably it was a little closer than I anticipated. I think I had the Bengals winning by a couple scores in this one. They didn't. The Ravens defense kept it close enough. But the Bengals just made the plays when they had to be made. Jamar Chase had a good game, 9 catches, 84 yards, and a touchdown. Joe Burrow, 23 for 32, 209, touchdown, did not make an interception. Managed the game the way it needed to be managed against a divisional opponent. I mean, it's going to be tough anytime you play a divisional opponent.
Yep.
And Huntley in there until about the end of the game looked pretty dang good. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
I mean,
He made that one fatal mistake. That game came down to that one play, B.
I know.
It really did. It came down to that one play. I'd like to know if he went rogue on that, because typically you wouldn't have guys behind you pushing the pile if you're just going to jump and do that, right? Usually you spread them out, so you would spread them out and then you would jump and do that because you want to take the backers and the defense out of there.
Yep.
And everything was so bunched in, so all he had to do was stay low and just push. That's all he had to do.
That never ends well. Like every now and then it does, but I mean, if you give them an opportunity to slap that ball, they're gonna slap that ball, man.
They're gonna slap it, and he was too far out. He was a yard and a half out. That's a yard in. You got to at least be at the 1 yard line or less to pull that maneuver off.
That one play,
and I think if huh?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say if they get that touchdown, man, I don't know if the Bengals win that game. Now there's a lot of time left after that.
There was.
Still though, beer. It was like 10 minutes left in the game, but still,
What was that play where Mark Andrews almost ran down the defender? What play was that? I'm trying to remember what play it was because I've seen highlights. I'll be honest, I did not stay up to watch this game. I was a little bit booty hurt after my Vikings lost. Didn't really want to watch any more football.
That was the fumble recovery. That was the same play we're talking about. So Hubbard for the DN for Cincinnati, the ball gets knocked literally into his hands. So he just starts running. And Mark Andrews is the only one for the Ravens that's like, he clips his foot. He almost got him down.
He almost caught him. I mean, that was an absolute, I'm just pointing that out. To me, that was an absolute effort play. Mark Andrews, I hope he comes back next season is a little bit more healthy than he was this season. He's kind of dealt with injuries throughout the year. I mean, the whole entire Ravens team dealt with injuries.
Decimated, yeah.
Before we leave this game, though, do you see Lamar Jackson back with the Baltimore Ravens next season? I
do not. I don't see how. I don't see it. Okay. I think there's too much animosity right now. You're talking about he wants a guaranteed contract, bro. He's been a unanimous MVP of the NFL, right? You see what the offense is without him. They refuse to pay him. But Deshaun Watson, who has all of his legal troubles and the things that he's done, can get a guaranteed contract. Then you're telling me Call of Duty boy over there in Arizona, what's his name, Kyler Murray, this man can get guaranteed money. Right, so you have two quarterbacks, right, that have study clauses in their contracts. Well, legal trouble. These guys are getting guaranteed money, but the only guy, all three of them, who's been an MVP, can't get guaranteed money. I don't see how this ends well. And he's his own agent, so that makes matters even worse. You know what I mean? To negotiate that thing, they're going to tell you to your face what we think about you and why we should not give you guaranteed money. And that's only going to make him even more salty, in my opinion. So I don't see him coming back.
So where do you see him going?
New York, Las Vegas, Texans, maybe. I don't know. They could franchise tag him, and he can deny the franchise tag. But shoot, man, if they franchise him, it's like $43 million.
I ain't denying that. I'm not denying that.
I wouldn't either. That's $43 million guaranteed. I wouldn't. I would take the money and play for the 1 year, but he wants a guaranteed long contract.
As he should get. I think it's well deserved. I mean, he needs it.
Yeah.
Is there some things that he could work on still? Yes. I mean, he could become a much better passer, but let's just be honest. Outside of Mark Andrews, who in the heck does the dude have to throw the ball to? I mean, there's nobody.
They tried. Rashad Bateman got hurt. He was out the whole year. Then Duvernay goes down. You're left with I forget number 10's name. And Mark Andrews. That's basically it. And then J.K. Dobbins, he made matters worse after the game. You know what I mean? He kind of popped off and said that he should have got the ball on the goal line. He said if Lamar would have played, they'd have won. Sounds like guys are mad at Lamar because they think Lamar could have played and he held out for the money.
I don't believe that. I believe if Lamar could have played, I believe Lamar would have played. It's a playoff game against a divisional opponent. I mean, that's been his one stain on his reputation is he can't win the big playoff games. Yeah. I think if the dude was healthy, I think Lamar Jackson would have played. So for them to do that, I'd leave too. I'd be out of there too. I don't see him going necessarily to Las Vegas because I think Aaron Rodgers ends up in Las Vegas.
Ooh.
That's a spicy take for you. Yeah, I see that. I don't see Aaron Rodgers back in Green Bay next year. I just don't. I don't.
They're talking Jimmy Garoppolo or possibly Tom Brady in Vegas. Because of what's his name? Josh McDaniels? That's how you say his name. I mean, he was Garoppolo and Brady's offensive coordinator all those years in New England.
I mean,
so that's a possibility.
I'm messing around. I might take Lamar Jackson over those options.
I would.
I would probably take. I would take Lamar Jackson over Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. And that's not just overall career. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about accolades. I'm talking about you got guys that are, hell, Tom Brady's well north of 40 now. And you got Aaron Rodgers who's knocking on the door of 40. So it's like, in my opinion, I feel like I'm going to get more out of Lamar Jackson than what I would out of an Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady, who's kind of at the latter part of their career. Because what are you getting Tom Brady maybe for 1 year?
1 year. One more, you saw how he looked last night. I mean, he didn't look all that good last night. He looked pretty old. He looked every bit of 45 and more. So,
you just bring that up. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about that. Oh,
that's the last game, huh?
Yeah, that's the last game here. So let's go ahead. Let's just jump into that one real quick here. This was kind of like a catch 2020 for me as a football fan because I absolutely cannot stand the Cowboys. But another thing that I can't stand is Tom Brady. Not because I hate the guy or anything, but just because it's like, dang, man, you're 45 years old. Let somebody else win a damn Super Bowl, dude. You got 7, man. Like,
right.
Just go.
Greedy.
Go. You've got that contract with Fox Broadcasting, NFL Fox.
Oh my God!
Just waiting for you. You know what I'm saying? Go up there, put your suit on every Sunday morning, talk with Michael Strahan, Terry Bradshaw, Jimmy Johnson, and Howie. You know what I'm saying? Go up there and just go talk some football, man, because that's one thing that everybody would love to hear is the inside perspective and the analysis from Tom Brady every single Sunday. Yeah. That'd be awesome. I would love that. Now, to see Tom Brady come back another year, no, I'm not. I just think that you can you can't hurt your legacy, but you definitely can't make it better either. Because he's not winning.
I don't even think he cares about his legacy at this point. I think he's just so obsessed with football and being that guy. Because once you retire, you know what I mean, it's over. You'll still be known as the GOAT, but you can tell there's an ego, there's an arrogance to playing football for him and being that guy.
I think he wants to mess around and play till 50, bro. Wait, look.
Yeah, he probably could.
But I think it's
50-year-old Tom Brady.
I think it's clear to say though he's not going to be back in Tampa Bay next season.
No. It's clear to say he won't be back there, but it's also clear to say he's playing at least 1 more year. I'd give him 2 more years. I think he's going to sign a 2-year deal. Yeah. I think he signs a 2-year deal wherever he goes.
See, I don't know. I don't think whatever he does, I mean, it's not the wrong decision. I'm just tired of seeing the man. I'm just, golly, man. So, for the Cowboys to beat them the way that they did in 31-14, it wasn't that close, to be completely honest. I mean, they scored some points in garbage time when it really, You know what I mean? There was like a little over 2 minutes left when they scored to 14. Really didn't make
Right.
a difference. The Cowboys were just – I mean, they even let them have the damn onside kick after that. You know what I mean? So you could clearly tell the Cowboys are like, man, I just want to leave Tampa. I just want to get out of here and go on to the next one. Dak Prescott, when the lights were shining, he balled.
He showed up.
He absolutely 25 for 33, 305 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Okay. Just go ahead, put that in your pipe and smoke it, is what Dak Prescott said. You know what I mean? That was clearly not the quarterback that we've seen all season that led the league in interceptions while missing 5 games. And then they had the two-headed monster kind of going, Zeke and Pollard. Pollard had much more yards.
Dalton Schultz. Schultz had 2 tutties. I think CD had 1.
Michael Gallup had another.
Parsons looked like Micah Parsons again. He was creating havoc. The thing, you know what, bro? And I said this to myself. I didn't say it out loud, but last week when they lost, when they got stomped out by the Commanders, when they got their ass whooped, I think that was the best thing that happened to them.
Woke them up.
It was the best thing that happened to them. Y'all ain't hot stuff. You can get beat down at any moment. Yep. Right? And that made them reset and get back to work. And I think that helped them this game. Oddly enough.
That defense, man, they were flying around.
Bro, they were swarming.
They were making
that's
plays.
What I try to tell people about playoffs. You have not seen that defense fly around. Like, playoff football is different. They were humming. I have not seen that defense play like that.
With all that being said, though, prove it to me in San Francisco.
Ooh.
You can
say
do
that for the preview.
You can do
say
that.
For the preview.
Yeah, I got you, but I'm just saying. Prove that next week. I can't wait to see Micah Parsons versus Trent Williams. I can't wait. So, it's going to be a good one.
If they beat the 49ers, bro, there's a good chance they can win the Super Bowl. If you can beat the 49ers, you can at least make it.
See, I see it the other way. I see it coming down between the Eagles and the 49ers as the top teams in the NFC. And I think whoever wins the NFC is going to win the Super Bowl. I'm going to say that now. I'm going to say that.
All right.
I just do. I think that they got better defenses over there in the NFC than what they got over there in the AFC. I mean, the Eagles or the 49ers on defense is just, my gosh. So, we'll see. It's set up very, very nicely, though. I mean, you got the Chiefs versus the Jaguars. You got the Bengals versus the Bills.
Yep.
And you got the Cowboys, 49ers. And you got the Eagles and the Giants. I think the only game that we can easily just say is the Eagles and Giants. I think the Eagles are going to handle them, but I could be wrong. Eagles defense ain't the Vikings defense.
This preview show is going to be fun. That's my upset alert.
It is. It's going to be a good one. And also, too, guys, tune in on Friday when my guy gets that video posted from Thursday night. I'm not going to say any names. We got a special guest that's going to be joining the House Divided. That's all I'm going to say. Y'all just going to have to tune in to see who it is. Also, too, y'all already know what the drill is around here as we end this show. Hop down there in those comments, guys. Tell us what you thought about us. Like we always say, right, wrong, good, bad, indifferent. We don't care one way or another. Also, if you're here at this point, you've watched this whole video, and you still haven't subscribed, stop it right now. Go down there, hit the button, subscribe. Help us get to 100 subscribers. We're at 55 right now. The channel went from like 42 to 55 here within the last week and a half or so. So we're starting to gain some traction. Also, too, guys, it always helps whenever you guys hit that thumbs up for that like button. And always hit that notification bell so you guys can be up to date on all our newest and latest content. As always, Corey, it's a pleasure, my guy. I'll talk to you on Thursday night when we do our next show. And like I said, guys, it's going to be a special one. Peace out, y'all.
Peace.